think, act, and prosper. You are now tuned into the Money Level Show.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Money Level Show, where we think, act, and prosper. Today, this video is sponsored by the Rule Symposium. Be sure to click the link in the bio to check out Rick Rule's Symposium, where he is going to have some of the best in the space, some of the best natural resource investors that will be coming to the symposium. It will be in Boca Raton, Florida. So this is a great opportunity for you to be able to shake hands and get to meet some face-to-face some of the best speakers in this space. And so click the link in the bio to check that out. So today we got to get into this. Okay. So I'm not going to claim to be no expert on this, but I've been kind of on the fringes, on the outskirts, kind of looking in like, okay, what is this about? Read a few articles here and there, but you know, it's important that we talk about it. So I really want to get into this. So we're going to talk about oil, what is happening with oil. And obviously I've had many people on the channel talk about the need for fossil fuels for however many decades, years, peak oil demand being decades out and such. And so we've talked about that, and I've talked about my bullishness on oil. And so let's get into why the oil price is creeping up, because I think that's important to know what is happening on a global level. The macro, right? We focus on a lot of things macro, what is happening there and what is driving the price up, right? So as you can see here on Yahoo Finance, stocks slide after job openings data and oil steadies. So you can see the price of oil's creeping back up. It was at about $70 or something like that for a while. I'm not subscribing. So it's been, pretty low for a while as the Fed. I mean, it went down to $66, as you can see here in March 20th of this year. And it's pretty much been trending lower because the Fed has been hiking interest rates. So when the Fed sees that, the Fed is saying that the economy's strong, the job market is strong, and all of these things, right? And so they're saying that we have to reduce demand. So the thing is that the Fed is raising interest rates to reduce demand. So how does this reduce demand for oil? People lose their jobs. So interest rates go higher. The cost of capital goes higher. Many businesses have to lay people off. You can see that Amazon and Google and a lot of these tech firms have laid off thousands of employees. So that is what the Fed is trying to tame, right? So as the Fed is raising interest rates, the price of oil has been declining. However, there is a supply issue. So you have supply and demand. The Fed can only focus on demand, the demand side of the equation. You have the supply side, and we have not been investing in CapEx or giving, pretty much investing in capital expenditures to bring more production online, obviously building new refineries, pipelines, all those different things, transport, like it's been underinvested in for a long time. So we have not been doing that. And you can see that on the recent video that I did regarding Biden saying that we need more oil, or we're going to need oil for at least a decade, right? So the price of oil shot up higher from $66 last month, and now it's at $80. So it's back up. So this caused some fear in the market because it is going to cause inflation to creep higher, which is going to cause the Fed to crack down even more and raise interest rates even more. So you're seeing how all this is intertwined, right? So we're going to get into why the price is going higher and what the Fed may do, at the next meetings, I think the next one's in May, where they'll decide if they're going to hike rates or not, and what that could potentially do for the economy, right? So in recent weeks, I would say, this is a good article from the Wall Street Journal. It talks about how Saudi Arabia considers accepting yuan instead of dollars for Chinese oil sales. And so I've been hearing this talk about the BRICS nations for a while, and this is kind of what I've been on the fringes about, of just like not necessarily skeptical of it, but just not being as informed as some other people are. And so this is an attempt to dive into some of this stuff of what's going on, and how this applies to energy. Sorry, you all, had to have a quick cut. One of my kids walked in and stuff, so I had to cut real quick. But so Saudi Arabia has, been in talks with Beijing and China about the yuan. So as you know that, previously in the 70s, when Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, we pretty much made a deal with Saudi Arabia to only sell gold in dollars. Now Saudi Arabia is in active talks to kind of end that. So you have this talk of the BRICS nations, of these nations that have billions of people that don't have the same standard of living as the people in the West. And they have a higher population than the people in the West, right? So this is something that you also check out, how Wall Street Journal lays this out. They actually have a pretty good deal right now. I think it's $4 for a month for 12 months. So it's pretty good. So what are the BRICS nations? So the BRICS nations are Russia, you have India, China, South Africa, and Brazil. So these are nations that have gathered together to start partnering on like how to challenge the Western power structure and to challenge the financial structure of the West. I mean, every time we've been dominant in terms of the financial system for so long that every time we raise interest rates or the dollar goes higher, it impacts these other nations. Obviously, with the Russia-Ukraine war, that's almost like the end of like globalization, as a lot of people may put it, because like it dampened a lot of partnerships, and you see a lot more polarization between nations now. And so the BRICS formed, and that's the nations that are currently in it. And I believe they are in talks with Saudi Arabia and other nations regards to joining their team. So this is the BRICS nations. So what does this have to do with oil? What this has to do with oil is that you have these countries are very reliant on oil because they have billions of people, right? Billions of people that don't have the same standard of living that we have in the West, right? And so when you get into oil as well, Russia is a huge supplier of oil. And as well as natural gas to many nations in the West, as they have the huge pipelines and such that they have transitioned or transported energy to the West, and so like just looking at things like that, just really shows and highlights like, okay, this is serious, right? Because you're talking about energy. And as in April 2nd, this article came out, and pretty much it talks about how Russia's going to extend the 500,000 barrels per day oil production cut till the end of the year. So they recently came out in February and said that they were going to start the production cut and they were going to end in June. Now they're saying that they're going to keep that until the end of the year. And so this is going to put more pressure on the price of oil. Recently, the OPEC nations, which consist of a lot of nations that we are not friends with, right? And these are huge oil producers of the world. And they said that pretty much they're going to cut more production, and that's why the price of oil shot up, right? So even in this article, it talks about the recent Saudi-led decision by OPEC Plus, which actually includes Russia in there. Oil cartel to cut production promptly push prices up by about $5 per barrel to about $81 in the United States. Some forecasters see prices rising by another 10 or 15%, which could quickly boost the cost of gasoline and other types of carbon energy. So this is getting real. Like, now energy is being used as a tactic to benefit other nations. And so, I mean, the nations that are producing a lot of oil, they're saying like, hey, why would we cut the price of oil or increase production if that's only going to benefit you in the West when our people are starving or our people need, a better standard of living. And so they want the prices to stay high. And so they made some cuts. So that's kind of my take on it for now. I'm going to look deeper into this. I just wanted to give you all an update, just kind of on what's brewing in my mind and like, okay, what is happening with this whole polarization of the world. And I'm hoping that, we turn it around and we actually start producing more oil in the United States, as long as we need it. Obviously, transition to clean energy. I'm a very pro nuclear energy. I think that it's necessary and it's inevitable. But, in the meantime, I mean, we're going to need fossil fuels, because people still have to get in a car and drive to work and feed their family and such. And so we're going to need that. So appreciate you all for checking in today. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe. I'm going to be dropping some more videos. I want to thank you all for rocking with me. Any new subscribers, welcome to the channel. I'm going to be putting out more material. So I hope that you all have a good day. All right, peace.